preparing to live stream.
Talking about live streaming, I'm going to
You're live on YouTube. Right, I'm going for a piss. See you later.
Perfect timing.
Oh dear, oh dear. Good evening, YouTube.
Yeah, it's on.
Don't
Still on the stream.
We're gonna get live urination from your station.
Yeah, he's just left the room. I should probably just stop watching the stream.
Come on, you were supposed to do the fill in there. And I was gonna go.
I'm doing the wobbly pen trick.
Yeah.
Does that work? There we go.
Oh my God!
so
It made the pen look like it's not solid.
See, that's the sort of entertainment you're going to get. Right. Let's go for it.
Beers and we'll get Chris to do his elephant trick.
Well, you know.
You ever
Just go straight into it. Oh yeah, no, I'm now on the stream wobbling a biro. Excellent.
I bet you feel so proud.
Oh yeah.
I can't
Anyway,
believe I'm gonna.
Mum, Dad, look what I've done.
Okay, we're good.
All right.
Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to episode 55 of the Friday Night Beer Club. It's almost been, best part of 2 months since we last did one. It was May, last week of May, I think, that we recorded episode 54 with Chris's unfortunate events of his AirPods falling down a drain, or one AirPod. But yeah, we've been busy, I suppose. Not really.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Busy doing nothing. But as usual, I'm joined by Chris.
Hello.
That guy. And then below me is Ben.
Well, on my screen, I'm above you. So, but
mine on the stream, you're below me. So there.
Oh,
like the Brady Bunch. And then there's a bit of a blank space. Simo is otherwise engaged with a Tesco online delivery being done to his house. So as soon as he can.
Other supermarkets are available.
Other supermarkets are available, but Tesco's are very good. But
I get mine delivered I get mine delivered at 8 o'clock in the morning. Why do you want to get delivered at 9 o'clock at night? Anyway,
maybe that was the only window that's available. It's a very busy time, I suppose, for internet deliveries and click and collects. I did mine at 7:30 this morning. Straight in, straight out is a lovely experience. Although they did bag up almost all of the shopping in individual carrier bags. So I now have like 20, 25 crap blank carrier bags that they just fill up rather than put it all into like 4.
There's an option tick to say do not bag it, and then you bag it yourself.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I got
Tesco's. There's an option where you can click it and say do not bag it, so it just comes in the boxes. The only things they bag then are like frozen or fresh meats.
Yeah, but still, there was like one bag had 1 can of oven cleaner in it. Could have just put other stuff in there as well.
I don't think they're allowed to for safety, are they? Because it's a hazardous chemical, they don't want to put it with foodstuffs or anything like that.
Well, they'd be fine.
He hadn't thought of that.
No,
it's like 20 odd bags. But anyway, they still do an admirable job.
Yeah, they hooked once and went, that bit cradled my bollocks. I didn't ask for that.
I should remember to tick the box for no bags, thank you, next time. So yeah, anyway, when Simo sorted that out, he will hopefully be joining us. So we can take this opportunity to talk about some nerdy stuff. So he doesn't get the rage. And then he can come in and rant about flying ants or his latest predicament.
Yeah, he'll still have rage, just about something else.
Online food shopping.
whilst I think of it, actually, so before we started this, we watched a trailer for Netflix movie called Power. Oh, what's it called? I forgot. Project Power, with Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where basically you can take a pill and it gives you superpowers for 5-10 minutes, something like that, a brief moment, and everyone's powers are different. You don't know what you get till you pop a pill, kind of thing. Trailer looked good, big budget. Netflix is spending a lot of cheddar now on their movies. I think there was a report of a Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling movie coming out, which they're spending 200 million on just for Netflix.
What?
That's mental.
With the aim of it being to kickstart a James Bond style franchise, something like that. But
they're obviously really good at something like that as well.
They're obviously caning the cheddar now. So so it looks like the budgets are getting big. Project Power, it just looks like a lot of fun, really.
It does look fun.
I'm up for watching that.
Netflix, you need to sort of take their trailers with a pinch of salt. A lot of the trailers for their stuff look really good, and then you watch them. Whilst they might be good, they're not a patch on what the trailers made them look like.
What was that Will Smith one with the goblin?
The cops. The goblin cops.
Yeah.
Bright.
What was it? Yes,
Bright.
That was it. That had a great trailer.
Say it again.
Sorry, it kept cutting out. Yeah, that had a great trailer and a very underwhelming movie experience. But they do good trailers. So another movie I watched based on a fairly good trailer was The Old Guard.
Okay.
That's gone up recently, based on a graphic novel from a couple of years back. Greg Rucka wrote it, and he was also part of the writing team, or wrote most of the movie as well. So that's based on a team of immortals that pick and choose their fights, and fight bad guys where they need to and put things right. You watched it as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
I will start by saying some of the good things. So the good things I thought were Charlize Theron as Andy. She was great. I thought the Joe and Nikki guys, the two boyfriends together, they were great on screen. Great chemistry. I thought the action scenes were brilliant. I thought the fights were great. Really enjoyed them. And I think that will do for the good points. It was predictable, but I don't mind. We've seen so many films and things now that it's just the way things are going to be. Things are going to get predictable. Few things didn't make sense. They're a bunch of immortals, so they can't die. They've been around for thousands of years. And the people chasing them know this, but they still chase them with guns. And it's kind of, it's a bit pointless. I get it, because otherwise without that, you've got no fight scenes and stuff, no good action to do. But surely just be a bit smarter. Shooting them is going to do nothing. But hey, like I say, we've got some good fight scenes out of it. And I thought the main villain was shit. Apparently he's in Harry Potter.
Yeah, he's Dudley Dursley in Harry Potter.
That's the guy. He was rubbish.
Yep.
Awful. Absolutely awful. And the kids, the young kid that was one of the immortals, forget her name.
No.
That's it. She was just there for exposition. Really, she spent all of her time asking questions.
Yeah, so that they could explain the story.
Yeah, and a couple of moments felt forced. There's a twist that really didn't need to happen.
Though, was it?
No.
See that coming.
But the most jarring thing, maybe it's my age, but the most jarring thing for me was the soundtrack. It didn't fit at all. It was like some teen pop video.
It was Sigrid,
Most of the time.
a bit, I think.
Whoever he is, then
She
she,
did the opening song for Justice League as well.
oh, everybody knows, nobody knows.
No,
Something
but
like
yeah,
that.
everybody knows or something like that. Yeah.
Everybody knows. Yeah, it didn't fit at
The
all.
soundtrack didn't fit the movie, no.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. What are yours?
I didn't dislike as much of it as you did. I thought the action scenes were brilliant. The use of sword play and gunplay mixed. At times, it felt like watching John Wick, but not fists and guns or pens and guns. It was swords and guns, and that was pretty kick-ass. I quite liked the whole team. I thought they were all pretty decent. They all had a decent sort of storyline or character arc, and I really liked the premise. Like with John Wick and the whole hotel for assassins and all that lot, and that world they created. I really liked the premise and where it could go. They could even do more of these films, and I really liked the premise behind it. Because this did feel like a setup, and you could see what was going to happen by the end of it. So yeah, I'd kind of like to see a second one now. But overall,
definitely.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty well done.
I had pretty low expectations, so I was pleasantly surprised that I didn't fall asleep, which I usually do with movies these days.
It's a long one, isn't it? It's a long one too. Well,
2 hours, just over 2 hours, I think. And it didn't feel like 2 hours. It was paced. So you had your opening action, then you had your building moment, then you had some action, then you had your middle bit, which is all of the exposition and all of the backstory and building the characters, and then it goes into the final movement, and it zips along quite well. You know,
I didn't find the exposition to drag. I felt it was necessary to give it the sort of impact or give you the story. For me, the exposition didn't drag, whereas in other films you sit there and you're like, oh my god, will you get over this already and get back to what you were doing?
I think that that can go down to some good casting. I thought they were all great, apart from the main bad guy who was third. And you got and Chiwetel Ejiofor just kind of, he can just do that in his sleep, that sort of role. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and yeah, it's definitely set up for a sequel, which they're working on now, I think. So I'm going to start shooting in August, I'm sure.
Oh, they are doing a sequel, yeah?
Yeah. Oh no, it's going straight ahead.
Oh, brilliant.
That if you've got spare 2 hours, Old Guard gets.
Give it a watch, Chris. It's not terrible by any stretch. It's
no.
fun.
I know there's a load of stuff at the moment, isn't it? There's that Warrior Nun, and then there's also that, and then there's also another one that's fairly similar, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the hell it's called. But there's been about 3 things that are all kind of fairly similar to each other that are on Netflix at the minute, and I'm like, I will get round to them, and it's just getting sidetracked at the moment with all sorts of stuff.
I will say one thing. I think Charlize Theron is becoming one of my favourite action stars. You got Old Guard, and then Atomic Blonde and Mad Max Fury Road. She's been bloody brilliant in all of those in action roles.
She is good in everything. Even if you look at Aeon Flux and The Italian Job, terrible movies, but she always comes out untarnished from them. She's brilliant. Watch it. 2 thumbs up. Recommendation. Other than that, I sat down earlier to try to think of things I've watched, and obviously new movies and stuff is pretty thin on the ground at the moment. Everything's getting pushed back. Tenet keeps going pushed back, so it looks like we're going to have a busy November, December time if things go to plan, or we're going to have a very busy 2021 with all of the movies to kind of catch up on. So
I think maybe, do you know what? I think also that's actually not a bad thing either, because I think it might give people a chance to look at films, review them. I know they've said a couple of films are definitely in the can, they're done, they're not doing anything else, like No Time to Die. He said, I'm not touching it, I was happy with it, and we're not doing it. But I'm hoping that Disney or Marvel or whatever you have actually given it that extra time to go and have a sweep through and clean up stuff, and hopefully that makes tidier films.
Well, they've done that with Cyberpunk, haven't they? I know it's not a movie, but the game keeps on getting pushed back because they want to make sure it's spot on, which is great.
Yeah, and I think, do you know what? Sometimes, rather than trying to rush something out to a deadline or saying this film will be coming out on this date, it's always giving people or filmmakers or game makers, whatever you call it, this opportunity to just, sit back and go, do you know what? Objectively, what else could we do with this? Could we make it any better? Could we make it any different? And I think hopefully that will mean that there's, the quality of films that are coming out that we will eventually get to see will be good. I mean, I don't know what on earth they were doing announcing another trailer for the New Mutants this week. I was just like, you filmed it 5 years ago. For goodness sake, just stick it on a streaming platform, bury it in Disney Plus somewhere, and just get on with it, because you cannot think that people are going to bother going to see it. Well, I'm sure some people will, but like as I was saying to someone yesterday on Twitter about it, I was like, the New Mutants comic is really, really good, and that is definitely not going to be that.
No,
the New Mutants, just forget it. Just get rid of it.
Just release it. Just hide it. Hide it.
Yeah. Because the fact that they film,
I agree with Chris. Don't bin it because it's been made. It needs to be seen, whether it's good or bad. But it doesn't need a cinema release. I can't see it doing well with a cinema release. It's for a very niche audience, and
Hey, do you know what?
It would do really well as a Netflix or something like that release. It would get a load of hits.
But that's the thing. Going back to what we're talking about with the old guard, would power of thingamajiggy, all I can think is by the power of Ra. But
wow! Imagine that being the opening theme track for it.
Yeah, I know. But that it's almost suited for these types of films. With that they were probably going to be films where at the cinema with I might go and see it, but I'm probably not going to go and see it. Whereas to give it to these audiences where there's a lot of people sat around not going to pubs, we'll get to that, or going to pubs, and we'll get to that. But I've got nothing to do, I'll watch that film, and you're more likely to have watched it that way than you would have done by paying $15.
If it wasn't for Netflix, that movie wouldn't have been made. That's not a cinema release. You're not paying £15 to go and watch that at cinema, unless it's 1998, 2000, something like that. You're and
then it would be like £2.50.
Pod Invader.
Yeah, it's.
I know. There's always one.
It's not a premiere release. I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch, but you wouldn't be going to see that kind of movie. They wouldn't get green lit for a cinema release.
No.
It's not bankable enough.
Channel 5 video back in the day.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff though, because I don't know if I never got that Curzon cinema pass, but Curzon still update me regularly about all the films that they wouldn't normally be shown at your big blockbuster cinemas. They're just constantly putting them out onto their streaming platform that you get if you buy that pass. And I think I probably would have watched loads of them if I'd have bought the pass. I'm quite pleased in the end that I didn't buy that pass, because I wouldn't have used it, but I wouldn't have known that when I bought it.
No.
I think Netflix has definitely made the most of everyone being at home, and they've just
even Amazon Prime has.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff that's gone on Amazon lately.
I think the only streaming platform I think out of all of them at the moment, which I go, why the fuck did I pay for a year, is Disney Plus. Absolute waste of money. There's nothing new on it.
Yeah.
I've already got everything on it that I've already wanted to see. The only good things on it so far have been the Clone Wars, and as a cartoon,
Well,
I think
you'd
Oh, and
watch it before it came out over here.
well,
Exactly.
I might have done.
I think with Disney Plus
Hamilton just
for the
dropped on it.
kids.
I'm definitely going to be watching that.
Well,
What's
Mando's
that?
locked, isn't it?
Hamilton.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really want to watch that. So, but yeah,
Oh, you not watched it yet?
what's wrong with Disney Plus is they've not hammered it with new stuff. There's a few new bits on there, but nothing to keep the mainstream watcher going.
They needed that Marvel content to be happening.
And it's
with
been
the
delayed
drop.
today, hasn't it? It's been delayed. So Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to start next month, but they quietly shoved it way back. And it's almost like they need like another must-watch show, or when Netflix started, the thing that made me sign up to Netflix was Arrested Development season 4, because I was like, oh fuck, I need to watch this, and it's on this thing only. Well, I'll get the free trial and I'll watch it, and then you ended up, investing in it. But Netflix are very slow at producing their own content, and then we are now where it's its own beast. But I think Disney Disney need to like try and bite the bullet on some of their other. I mean, they have done with some of their other films that were going to be released. They just chuck them on there. But I think, I would say, unless something really good turns up on Disney Plus in the next, during my renewal phase or that launch phase of, was it March it came out here? I can't remember. Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, it was March.
I won't be renewing that because fuck it, I've got everything. I've seen everything. So why do I need to keep it?
Well, I think if it wasn't for the low price point, then it probably wouldn't have the subscribers it's got at the moment. And if it doesn't ramp up its content, then come next year, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't renewing.
I think a lot of people will just go later.
Hey, look at that! There he
Have
is.
you got one of those brushes in your hair, Simo? Those like that.
He's got some serious bedhead. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can't see the video chat, we have just been joined by Simo. Hey,
hi.
Hello. How was the Tesco shop? All right.
It's lovely. It contained no alcohol, so it was pointless basically.
Good. Have you got a dry household?
I have one solitary can.
Just the one beer. Oh.
Yeah, this is left over from the last box from last week.
Do you not have any
to run some round?
Do you want to bring some round?
Or a straw?
Yeah, drink it for a straw. That'll help. Deliveroo, mate. That's what you want. Deliveroo.
Yeah.
Not that I've been late. Not that I've been that lazy in lockdown that I've honestly bought beer from Deliveroo.
Co-op over the road does Deliveroo, so you can just order your booze and get dropped off.
Yeah, exactly. Deliveroo.
You can have it in
Shout out
20 minutes.
I've never used Deliveroo. I've never used them so much in my life as of late. Even for like stupid things on a Sunday. You sit there going, I really fancy a burger. I really fancy a white, just smashing everything up. I really fancy a Burger King or something like that. And now they deliver Burger King. It's like, I know it's £2 extra to get it delivered, but fuck it.
Yeah.
There was a point during lockdown where there was nothing outside apart from hordes of Deliveroo cycles.
Yes.
Just going around the place. So anyway, Simo, we were just mid talking about Netflix and shit like that. So we've done the nerdy stuff. We got that out of the way. And we were just talking about how poor Disney Plus is. The lack of content that they're releasing, and we're probably all going to cancel. But I think Netflix, I watched a show on Netflix this week, and they're doing a very clever thing. It was called Southern Survival. So there's a company called BattleBox, and they do survival gear. So they do like like those monthly geek boxes. They do one for survival gear. You can get sent to your home. And so they've done a show where they show you how they test all the survival gear in wacky redneck situations. But it's obviously just an 8-episode advert for their business now, masked as a TV show. But Netflix are now doing stuff like that. So they're kind of creaming in a lot of money that way as well.
Yeah.
it's worth a watch if you want some trash to watch, because it's not any worse than The Floor is Lava, so which is a terrible show. I think you've watched that. haven't
Yeah,
you?
I've not watched it, and I don't think I will be. But you will watch any turd. Somebody could
I will watch any
actually
shit.
sit there. Netflix would bring out a show called Polishing a Turd, and you would sit and watch an hour of somebody
I would watch a turd polishing
getting a
reality show.
real
Yeah.
nice shine on that shit.
I'd watch that. Who could polish their turd quickest?
You could polish the turd
Um,
quickest, yeah.
Oh, competitive turd polishing. Yes, I will watch. I'll watch anything competitive. But a documentary on it, no, maybe not. But if it was competitive, I'd be well in for that.
I just, like, as much as I like a thought-provoking, deep movie, I also like some shit that I can just turn my brain off to and just veg out watching.
Oh, yeah, I watched something I could turn my brain off to a little while back. It was the Jeffrey Epstein documentary.
Oh yeah,
Moving
Nice,
on.
that was nice thought-provoking stuff, you know, just mindless television.
yeah, 3 hours of mindless television.
Oh, is it really that long? Blimey.
No, it's there's four 1 hour episodes.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right.
Oh.
It's 4 hours. Yeah, totally worth it.
Sorry. Yeah, no,
Well,
I
it's
think
not
I
as
thought
if-
about watching it.
Listen to the podcast, you pretty much know everything that happens. So, but yeah, there was that. Watch that. Done now. Thanks.
No worries. Yeah, I can't think
Actually-
of much else I've watched.
Do you know what? It's been such a long time since we were last together. I finally watched all of The Last Dance as well. I know, like we've talked about it before. I
Wow.
watched all of it, and it's
Yeah,
It's great.
amazing, isn't it? And
Yeah,
it's
so good. So good.
I would say of all the streaming shows that I've watched or I've been trying to watch, that's the only one that I like went through it like 4 or 5 episodes at a time. Whereby, like with other stuff which we might talk about later, like Hannah, it's taken me forever to watch it.
Yeah.
But I loved
I
it.
see that as if it's taking too long to watch it, I usually then just go, it's not worth it.
Sack it off.
If I'm not chomping at the bit to watch the next episode, then yeah, I've got a list so long of, do you want to continue watching these shows on Netflix? Laura gets annoyed because she's like, just watch a whole thing and finish it, because there'll be like a movie on there with 10 minutes left. I was like, do you want to watch it?
I
Like,
know. I wouldn't go that
she's like,
far.
you've got 10 minutes to the end, and thought, nah, I've had enough. Turn it off.
I think it's. I
Didn't
think
make
it's,
it to the end.
That's
I think it's-
terrible.
that's
Right.
terrible. That's shame on you. I mean, you couldn't even watch the last 10 minutes. Fucking hell. I think it's just the other distractions and stuff that have happened. So, like with myself, like I've played quite a few video games that have been very time consuming or grindy. So I don't think actually since I last saw you, I did invest in a Nintendo Switch, and I jumped on for Xanthi purpose initially on Animal Crossing. Unfortunately, what's happened is that Xanthi's mugged it off, and I'm obsessed. I have to go on my island every day just to check in to make sure everything's all right, or that my villagers are there, or kick out the ones we don't really want, or make sure all the fossils in the museum is being maintained. And it's
Man.
to sound so ridiculous to say that I've probably not watched as much stuff because I've been more obsessed with, like, I have a routine. I get up in the morning, I eat my breakfast. Before I start work, I hop on my island, just have a quick little mooch round just to make sure everything's all right. Everything, like literally 20 minutes or so, check when the shop opens and find out what the turnip prices are for the day, turn it off, and then go and have a shower and then start work. But
Is this the thing where people say turnips are selling for a certain amount of bells or something
Yeah.
like that?
That's right.
Right.
That's right. So, like the
I
one
don't
time
get
I
it.
was, and it's how to say, I could see why so many people adopted it in lockdown when they were furloughed or they didn't have anything to do. You can be drawn into it. I mean, it's definitely an acquired taste, I'd say. But
Sorry, yeah. My brother-in-law did a similar thing. He got the free farming simulator from PS Plus.
No.
And
Yeah,
he sent me a picture the other day, and I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, sorting my drainage out in the lower fields.
It's
And then he was like, no, I'm actually turning this into biofuel from the sheep slurry, and I'm selling it. I was like, oh my God, I can't even.
I had a go on that, and I think I spent almost an hour just ploughing a field, and I didn't know if I was enjoying it or not, but I was still determined to do it.
I will.
It's weird because Animal Crossing does this thing where if you expect everything to happen when you first boot it up and play it, it doesn't work like that. You have to wait, and you can trick it to like time travel by turning your internal clock for things to happen. But it's like you'll do something and then you have to wait until the next day. So you don't have to play it for an extensive amount of time. You just literally play it for half an hour, and then you'll come back tomorrow and things happen and develop and develop and develop. And I think
so like growing stuff doesn't happen in minutes. It can literally take overnight, sort of thing.
It can take a week. So there's been things where it came on today and said I got a bell thing or a nook mole thing because I'd been on the island for 50 days every day. And I was thinking, it's not 50 days since I got a Switch and we've got that. But it is. And then the other thing, that I played, and I won't say anything much about it apart from I played The Last of Us 2. It's way, way longer than you think it's going to be. I finished it in 36 hours, and I was pretty hardcore. And I'll let everyone play it. I could see why there's a lot of internet hate for it, but I think I took the highbrow approach, and I think if you don't know anything about it, that experience you'll have will stay with you. So that's all I want to say about that. But that was another distraction that I went through, just to kind of do that, which sort of chucked me out the loop. But it's just literally because of lockdown and stuff. And, I haven't really...
See, on the opposite end of that scale, you've got us three who clearly have ADHD and must get involved into a game instantly. So Call of Duty is like, there's no waiting around for turnip to grow. There's no waiting around. It's just literally jump in.
There's jump in, get onto a map, get into a building, and wait around and hope not to die.
And then hide around, just waiting to die.
I get that. I get that so much.
Warzone's the biggest thing to happen to Call of Duty, I think, since the what was the level with the Russian airport level? I think it's the biggest thing to happen to Call of Duty since then. I'm not obsessed, but
obsessed
with watching YouTube videos of hackers and seeing the lengths these guys will go to, the money they'll pay to hack the game. So they pay like 60, 70 bucks for Call of Duty, then they'll pay at least another 60 bucks for a hack, and then money goes up and up. So they get aim bots and see-through walls and all sorts. I don't get their end game of what they're going to gain from cheating, because they get found out. There's so many people that are out them for it. I don't get it. But I'm fascinated with watching it. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like different distractions of different things. So I guess almost watching films or stuff like that. Sometimes I've kind of drifted away into these like weird solitary experiences in video games rather than, because I haven't really had anyone here. So I've found that has been my better distraction of time, when we've not been able to do much or go anywhere and do things. And I know it's opening up now, but that's been my thing. I've been finding these really long, heavy things that take up loads of my time and keep me interested. So I keep coming back. So then, you forget about things, but it's each of their own. There are things. So when Hannah launched and I started getting into Hannah, I still haven't finished it yet. But Ben, you've watched Hannah, because I'm just drifting us back into track. You've watched it all. What did you think of it? Like the end?
I didn't think it was a patch on the first season, and there were times where it was very good, but there were times where I was so frustrated with the way the story was going, it drove me up the wall. I got really angry with it at times. It was a bit stupid. When you have they're meant to be like clever people. There were some clever people doing some very stupid things through it, and
There's a lot of convenience in places
Yes.
to kind of drive
Oh,
the story
God, yeah.
along for no reason, and you're like, yeah, they said the bits that I've got up to. I was like, well, normally in season 1 that would have just turned into this, but in this one it's like, oh well, something's got to drive the story along, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think it was okay, and I watched it all through. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as the first season.
Yeah, I'd probably say that from where I'm up to with it, but I definitely will see it through to the end, just because. Yeah, I've watched the first season, and I would like to go through it. It's just, video games, even the football started again. I feel awful and slightly dirty to say this, but when they announced that my team, all their games would be on Sky Sports till the end of the season, I paid the £6 because it's like 4 weeks of, 10 games? I thought, rather than faffing around with illegal streams and stuff like that, I'll just pay my £6, bump, 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 and I can watch them all. And I know it's not the same. And I know we've all got different, like Ben, you said you're totally done with it, which I get. And I thought I was, but it was very weird because I'd got into the point of only watching my own team play over the last couple of years. I've fully kind of eased out, not even bothering watching Match of the Day, I just watch my own team play. That when it restarted, I was just like, oh, okay, it's just my team playing again. And there's that hard juxtaposition of having no crowds and stuff, but I got used to it. And you've got audio options. You can have the FIFA crowd, as they call it. I don't have the FIFA crowd. I quite like listening to all the shouting and what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing with the bit that made me suddenly realise that I was done with it, to an extent. I'll if there's something on, I'll have a glance at it and stuff, but I'm not going to go actively looking for it. And I've not been following what the fixtures are. But it was during lockdown, while there wasn't any football, that I realised that I wasn't missing it.
Yeah, I didn't miss it.
And I realised there was actually only a couple of things that I was missing. So all the other stuff, I thought, you know what, I don't care if it comes back or not.
Yeah, no, and you're so right. I think I was like, no, I don't really care. If it's gone, it's gone, and that's fine. And then because it did, I was like, oh, well, bollocks. If my team are playing, I'll stick it on. And then the next thing you know, you're drawn into it again.
Yeah.
And,
I watched a little bit of it, but it's typical that it's now my team seem to be doing quite well. They seem to have kicked into gear. But I watched a little bit of Match of the Day here and there, but I'm not too fussed about it. I think it's good it's back. Gives everyone a distraction because since our last podcast, I guess we were in total lockdown at that point, weren't we? Things have relaxed somewhat since then. And going into June, it looked like the world was going to explode. Everything was just going to hell at one point. So I think football was a good distraction, a bit of normality for some people. Whether they're relaxing everything a little bit too quick is another story, but I didn't really miss football, but I don't mind it being back, I guess.
I'm just kind of nonplussed by it. I don't know whether it was football itself or just the Mourinho effect.
Yeah, that too. That probably didn't help.
I cannot stand watching his teams play football. Really weird stat though. I saw somebody that I followed on Twitter post it the other day. Since Mourinho joined Spurs, the league table, if you'd started it at the point he joined Spurs, the top 4 are Liverpool, City, United, and Tottenham. And it doesn't feel like that. Spurs supporter, you're watching them, you're like, this is utter garbage and awful. And yet, if you'd started the league when he came, they're in the top 4, and I don't understand it.
You're welcome to him.
He's utter crap.
Anyway, let's not talk
anyway,
about.
It's not a football pod. We're not. Things have relaxed somewhat.
We got Jose, mate. We got Jose.
Things have relaxed somewhat. So since our last pub, pubs are open again for everyone to go and have a good night out.
Recording at home.
I've not bothered with a pub, and I still don't think I'm going to bother with a pub for quite some time. Out of all the things like I say, with football, not really missed it. Not really missed pubs. I do miss a night out with friends, being in their company. But
I think it's an age thing, though. I think it's an age thing. I was pretty much done with pubs anyway before lockdown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think you get to a certain age, and it's just, you know, it's nice to have a night out with friends or go to the pub or do something or a day drink and, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, the days of me wanting to stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, I am done with that. And I'm quite happy to say I'm an old fucker and I don't care. And but that's where I am. So
it's not something I've craved. So
I think at the moment it's the readjustment, and I think, you know, in terms of social distancing and stuff like that, they still, you know, say that we need to do it to an extent, not, you know, necessarily drastically or anything like that. I just find that where I live, I've had the unfortunate experience of it's constant that when I do go out, it's just full of idiots everywhere with no idea. And you know, my favourite one was yesterday. I popped up the shop because I needed some like basics, and a guy is blocking up the front door of the supermarket with his pushchair with his child in, smoking a fag, coughing everywhere, all over the front entrance.
Nice.
Just like, the fuck, man. I don't want to walk in there now until, like, you know, like the count of the particle displacement in 5, 4. You know, I've been called a twat for wearing a mask. I've been spat at for wearing a mask. I've had all sorts of stuff, and it's just like where I am. I guess if you're in a more urban area or you're further out, you might necessarily see that as much. But when you're smack bang in it all the time, it's just horrible. And you go, okay, well, I'll go an opposite way and I'll try and avoid all of that stuff. And you go the opposite way, and then you've got kids out on force because the police aren't enforcing that particular area with no concept of it, and gigantic groups of kids. And it's almost like you know, years ago, you would go, I don't know why my mum or my dad were going, oh, look at all those people, that's a bit worrying. And then you'd go, what are you talking about? It's fine. But I think it's just turning into this. I'm turning into that Howard Hughes type person where I've like, you know, Mr. Burns in The Simpsons when he owns a casino. Where I've just because all the experiences I keep having when I do go out makes me go, I don't want to go out because these people are cunts.
Yeah.
But being spat at for wearing a mask was my favourite. That was definitely up there with my favourite lockdown experiences so far.
There are some right bellends who don't know how to use masks properly, though, aren't there? I mean, you know, the amount of times I've been out and I've seen people and they're like, oh yeah, no, I've got my mask on for safety, and their nose is poking out of it because, you know, it's easier to breathe with your nose poking out of it. It's like, what the hell are you doing? What's the point? It's like getting a condom and going, well, I'm going to cut the tip off because it can chafe a little or something, you know. It's pointless.
Let the tip of my penis breathe.
You know, I'll tell you, it's a good one for you though, Chris. You'll love this. It was the day before they announced that they were going to make it compulsory from whatever to wear mask, and I was like, I can feel it coming. I said, we might as well get used to start wearing masks, so let's wear a mask when we go shopping. So me and the missus went shopping, and she had to go and buy a few present bits for people, and she wanted to buy people some candles. And she was like, I can't smell if they're nice. So the next thing, I'm putting the mask off, going, and I'm like, you're putting your nose on the thing.
Oh my god!
And then the mask went back on again. Well, what's the point of you wearing it now?
I mean,
I'm not one to have a knock at anyone wearing a mask, but I see people in their car by themselves wearing their mask. And I just think
that baffles me.
Look, you're not doing anything wrong. So I'm not having a dig at all. It's just I worry that some people still don't get why they're wearing a mask and when they need to wear it, etc. People out walking their dog in the middle of Abbey Fields by themselves with a mask on. Yeah, you could probably take it off if you want. Is there anything to get near to people, put it back on? Or if you just want to be in the habit when you leave the house, you've got a mask on, cool beans, if that's how you want to be, because it's still a hell of a lot better than the idiots that say, I can't wear one because I can't breathe. Fuck off. Just fuck off. There's that video of that surgeon with the oxygen meter.
Yeah.
That was on doing the rounds, showing.
I'll tell you what.
He said, look, what was it? His oxygen level was perfect, but his heart rate was high, like 110 beat.
Because he was pissed
110, I think it was. And he said, my heart rate's high because I'm pissed off having to do this video. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it would be a good heart rate.
I looked at it from the perspective that, you know, I was an early adopter, especially because of the literally cunty fuckwittery around where I live and people being complete arseholes, like even all the way through. Like you could tell that lockdown had been eased because it's just full of even the worst people with no concept of anything. Like looking at you because you started walking in the middle of the road because they're walking 4 strong down the road at you. What's your problem? Yeah. What's your problem? Well, do you not listen to what anyone's saying? But I think it was, you know, it's just the fact that, look, if I wear a mask and this is all bollocks and bullshit, then whatever. What have I got to lose? I wore a mask when I went out and I looked like a bit of a twat. Or, as I've been doing recently, is I'm going out looking like Master Guido from Bullet Club with a baseball cap on and a mask on like he does in the wrestling.
That's it.
And that's fine. But I think it's also the perspective that I'm going, do you know what? I'm thoughtful of other people. Like, I know it's not necessarily going to protect me or, you know, that, but it's a case of I think about other people when I care, I think. And some people is like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to stand in front of the supermarket door and I'm just going to cough at everyone because I'm thick and I'm a cunt. Sorry.
Yeah.
But they are. That's just what I just cannot understand how you could be so uninformed and not like there was one last week. So last week I had an incident where it was quite busy first thing on a Sunday morning when I had to go and grab some essentials for the supermarket and stuff like fruit and stuff. And someone got so angry with the queues being so big, he just started going everywhere. And I've never seen so many people like scatter just so he could get to the queue. It's just the level of country that I've had to experience all the way through lockdown. So if you can imagine why you might think that I've gone a bit Howard Hughes and very fuck this, it's because I've literally had non-stop.
Are you pissing in jam jars?
No, not that bad.
Are you pissing in jam jars?
No, but I think it's just literally that I had that many bad experiences.
Show you all of the blueprints.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. All I'm doing is wearing a mask, being like going in, going, I just want to get like some crumpets and some fruit and some bread.
You know, the thing that baffles me is that it took this long, and it still hasn't happened. It doesn't kick in until next weekend, but it's taken that long to make face masks mandatory. I don't know why that wasn't from day one, but just some of the things you see on the internet of people saying, well, you know, normal flu takes more people or cancer kills more people, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like, yeah, but this is something you can actively do something about to stop or to minimize the spread. It's like cancer is not something that you spread by coughing at people and stuff like that. It's just the fuckery of some people, stupidity levels of stubbornness.
Now, I've not been on Facebook for quite some time, as you know. I like share pics from Instagram or something like that, but I won't be on it. And I just think that if I looked on Facebook of what anyone was saying about it, I'd probably have a mental breakdown. So that's. But what's it been like? Just intrigued, asking here now today.
Well, there's quite a few people complaining about having to wear a mask.
Yeah.
You know,
is it any usual suspects that I can imagine of straight away?
Yeah. But look, I'm not going to ever dig at anyone in particular or anything like that. Facebook, as well as Twitter, just seems to be, hi, here's my opinion, and then 10 people telling you why you're wrong or attacking whatever it is. Whatever the Evening Gazette puts up, like article-wise, our local newspaper, there'll be so many people just jumping on and having it. It just seems toxic.
It is toxic.
It's just everyone's so angry. but everyone's angry about everything. I think I said it ages ago. I'm like, here's like, I like toast, and then someone will jump on and go, no, you don't. You don't like toast. Toast is shit. Toast is racist, or blah 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 blah. It's just people will just come up with all sorts of reasons why you're wrong to say that you like toast. So yeah, you're not missing anything on Facebook.
I know, I didn't think it was. It's more divide and conquer these days, I think. That everyone, it's got tribal like football. So if I said that, you know, Tottenham is shit in a joke, even though they, you know, or something like that, there'll be 100. No, well, like, you can't say anything, Simo. But anyway, because of what happened last week, but you know, you'll get 20 people jump on you and tell you the reason why, and it's always become tribal. Like I wear a mask. Well, you're wrong, and here's why. And I'm going to tell you 100 times. I'm like, well, I've already made a decision to wear a mask, and I'm just doing it because, like I said, if it's a load of old bollocks, fair enough. What have I got to lose? I walk around looking like Hannibal Lecter or Gado from fucking Bullet Club, you know, for a few months. What did I lose? 10 quid for buying a load of face masks. All right, so be it. But you know, if it does potentially help stop spread, you look in like some countries where they say, you know, like in Japan or, you know, some Asian countries where they've because they've had other things or other pandemics where they've had to wear this stuff, and it has minimized it, or, you know, facts lead themselves to it, then why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you? I don't understand. I think I just find that, I guess everyone is like, well, I don't like that. I don't like being told what to do. So fuck you. I'm going to do, like, it's the Rage Against the Machine. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
I don't think anyone likes being told what to do. But sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say I do agree with Wyatt in that I don't understand why it's taken so long for them to say, no, you should be wearing a mask. And the point that it was, what, a week ago now, or a good few days ago now? No, it's nearly a week that they decided, no, you really should be wearing a mask when you go into shops. But that's still a week away that the mandatory date's going to come in. Yeah. What's different in these 2 weeks leading up to it? It's absolutely
there isn't.
Coronavirus is on holiday, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Corona's on the beach, mate.
It's gone to Marbella for a little while, and then before they come back.
Oh, that's all right.
I think it's just
no, Ben, you're totally right.
It's just a softly approach by the government. It's always like, look, here's some bad news, and we'll give you a couple of weeks to get used to it, and then we're going to enforce it, rather than, look, just do this now. It's like, no, we'll give people time to prepare, go out and buy a mask.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I was going to say, there's the preparation aspect of it. Not everyone. I mean, we've had masks in our household for well, I don't know, probably a couple of months now, but
much longer than that. Sex play.
I wasn't talking about those sort of masks.
Can't go out of a ball gag.
Yeah, can you imagine going out to the ball?
Hey, tell you what, no one's laughing at Colchester Gimp Man now, are they?
No, he's
He knew.
He's probably selling off his soiled gimp suits.
Oh, lovely.
God, there's a thought. Anyway, sorry, I can't even remember what I was saying.
You've had masks in the house for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, preparation aspect, yeah, but a lot of people, haven't even considered it, to be perfectly honest. And
no, that is true.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people that are saying they can't afford to buy masks.
Oh yeah.
But to be fair, a face cut, like I've got a couple of snoods. There's ways around it. There's loads of vids on YouTube of people cutting up their pants and socks and making masks out of them. So
if you really don't,
just wear
if you don't want to,
in your head, you know.
Yeah, nice little skid down the front.
Yeah,
it'd be lovely. But if you don't want to do it, cool. Just don't go out. Stay home. Do your internet shopping online and stuff like that. We'll always do internet shopping online. Do your shopping online. And just don't go to, Tesco's. and
That,
stuff like that.
Conservative MP that was kicking up fuss about having to wear a mask is, well, I'm not going to. That's going to put me right off going and doing a big shop. And it's sort of like, I do not believe that man has ever stepped foot in a supermarket in his life.
Absolutely. Again, you know, it's not like I'm not wanting to shame anyone by saying, you know, by saying this here and now. I just think it's you know, if it can genuinely help, then it's good. And you know, what have you got to lose if it doesn't? It's not a big deal. And we've had a lockdown. You know, when has this ever happened in people's lifetimes? You know, there's a genuine virus that's fucking killing people, and if something helps towards it, or could help towards it, wouldn't you want to help do that? Wouldn't you want to?
Yeah, I don't want this spilling over into next year. I was quite resigned to the fact of, okay, 2020 is a write-off. Let's all forget about 2020. Let's all stay home. Let's get rid of it, eradicate it, or get it as low as reasonably possible. And then next year we can all go out and make up for it and have fun and stuff. But no, there's idiots out there that want to watch the world burn and will quite happily just say, no, fuck it, we want this to be around for a bit. And I guarantee there's people out there that are just being cunts because they want to see anarchy or disruption or whatever. There's even plenty of people that. Hey?
But I think there's also a lot of people who are completely ignorant.
Yeah, there's a lot of ignorance.
They genuinely do not realise the threat. I mean, you know, you're talking about the pubs open and stuff. I have been, well, I didn't go to a pub, I went to a social club for a game of pool because I knew they'd set the pool table up in a massive function room, so I'd be able to keep away from everybody, and I had hand sanitizer and stuff. The whole place was set up, spaced out really well. There were signs everywhere, there was hand cleaning stuff everywhere. But everybody else in that place, even though there was so much room to spread out, they were all huddled in one bit, all high-fiving, hugging, clapping, talking an inch away from each other's faces. If they were going to the fruit machines, there was hand sanitizer stations next to them. Did they use them? Did they fuck? And it was just like they were just acting as if everything was completely normal. Now, I understand how people need to lead a normal life, but bloody hell, I genuinely believe they think there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, but then the sod's law is that the chances are low of something happening with those guys. So, you know, they're all going to go, oh, see, look, we all hung out, we were fine. So we'll keep doing that now. Yep. And with human nature, when you're in a social environment, you'll be looking at other people and going, oh, well, they're doing that. Everything must be okay in here. So we'll do that as well. And you kind of just copy each other. But it'll just take that one person to be there, spread it, and it spreads quickly. If you're not just
that idiot in Leicester who started arranging coach trips to Northampton because Leicester was on lockdown, the pubs weren't opening, so they were going to do coach trips to go to the pub in Northampton. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. Was it Northampton, Nottingham, one of them?
That's the way it will start. Like Colchester, for example, where we live, our rating or whatever it is very low now. So we're very fortunate. Our area has been very good, or is very good now. But we're soon going to get the nod for people to start returning back to work, and a lot of people in Colchester, it is a commuter town, and a lot of people will start flooding back to London, which is still,
high, very high.
And then people are on the underground and on the trains and touching things inevitably, just, handrails going up the stairs, things like that. And then people come home and then they see loved ones, and then those loved ones then see other family members or friends, and then it starts spreading again, And so it is just about maintaining that, not being a complete tool, not being ignorant, and just, help you. By helping yourself, you're helping others.
I think how I learned, Simo, you're right. And I think how I learned a few years ago was I was quite ill. I don't know if you guys remember, I was quite ill for about 5 or 6 weeks. And it turned out that where I've been traveling around so much around the country, that I picked up so many viral infections, one after the other, that my body went into complete meltdown in terms of I couldn't recover, and they didn't know what was wrong with me, and they couldn't sort it. And I did so many tests, and it basically turned out that me holding on the handrail and not washing my hands immediately and doing this and touching my face and doing all that had just constantly fucked me over. So I'd learned. So I'd gone full pool paid anti-back club where I couldn't wash my hands. I'd always have anti-back. I'd always be careful. And like, it's now feeded into my Howard Hughes type thing that I haven't bulk bought, but I've got enough to keep lasting me. Every time I go to the shops, if I can't wash my hands immediately when I come out of the supermarket, I'm doing it. And it's just that I learned from having being ill that now we're in a world with a super virus that will fucking kill you if you got it, that I'm not taking any chances. And I think a much of this return to work stuff thinks that, I think my biggest challenge moving forward, or in terms of like a mental moving forward, is rush hour on the tube in London. I think I fucking cry the first time I'm like faced with it, because I don't know how I'm going to cope with it.
Yeah,
like,
but then, isn't it that employers are now encouraged to ask employees to go back to work, not force? So I think
we had a poll. So they asked everybody at my place. I can say that on this, to ask us what we thought about it and what we do. And I kind of worked along the thing of that I'll do what you want me to do, but at the moment I don't think it's necessarily needed. Like, my job involves me traveling around the country, and normally, okay, just as an example, I could only meet probably 2 groups of people a day if I'm in a certain area of the country when I'm traveling. And like this week, I've met 5 people per day in different areas of the country, one after the other. It's not the same as meeting someone in person or taking the time out to go and see them, but I've been far more productive than I would have been traveling around doing it. I've literally logged on. I've given presentations to hundreds and hundreds of people, which I would never have done if this situation hadn't happened. So, there's 2 minds of thoughts of it. Is everyone got to go back to London and do all this because we should, or is it because some people and their mates want their money for people buying lattes, and people want their money from doing that? And I get it. Feed the economy. Ben, you're quite.
It's economy.
Yeah, it's economy. It's not about the people's health. And I think, look, I'm in a situation where I'm fortunate where I have the ability where I can work from home, and not everyone does that. And I get it. I get it. But I think fundamentally, like as Wyatt, you said, wouldn't it be better just to get this all eradicated and sorted first before we start rushing back? Because all I see is that we'll just be in a fucking cycle of it for ages. Otherwise,
but there's I went to do a 7-story office in Ipswich for a large insurance company.
I know the one you mean.
So there was a guy working at reception, there was a maintenance guy, and 2 cleaners. And they were going to be phasing staff back 5% at a time. And then as the guidance has kind of carried on with social distancing, they've scrapped that idea. Their building lease runs out the end of next year. So they've said it's highly likely no one will ever be back using this building again. Insurance brokers and these sort of staff they're working just as productive from home. Why should we pay a building lease for an empty building?
Exactly. There's no reason for them to do it. But I understand that other people who own these places would very much like everyone to get back.
I can quite see that in years to come, there will be a shitload more working from home, and even the possibility of 4-day working weeks to be more productive, and stuff like that. Companies cutting their overheads for rent, electricity, and all those sort of, because once you get rid of the building, you get rid of, I know this is getting boring now, but once you get rid of the building, you get rid of all those bills, you get rid of all your health and safety costs of risk assessments, fire assessments, everything that you need to do to keep that building safe. If people are working from home, it's more, okay, look, we can just meet up once every couple of months. We can have mental health courses in place and stuff like that to check you're doing okay. Aside from that, stay home. It saves us a shitload of money, kind of thing. So,
I think London will be decimated by this. I think a lot of organisations will go, what's the fucking point? Because we've continued to exist and we've adapted in a very short space of time without having to do this, and without these massive, we don't need to rent these massive buildings. We don't need to do this. I appreciate, again, as I understand, different trades, different types of organisations, different types of things rely on different things, or rely on people being there, or the physical productivity of things, and I totally get that. But I think it's advanced things like shopping, it's advanced things moving forward so much. Again, I'm being really boring, but it's just, I haven't talked to anyone for ages.
Well,
it's going to be
big office blocks turning into housing.
Yeah,
because there's, like, with the office blocks as well, you have the facilities guys. So the guys that, fix all the problems in those buildings. Once those buildings go, estates management companies, they're going to start and say, look, we'll lay people off. Boots, John Lewis, Debenhams, all of that, laying people off left, right, and centre. It's, I sympathise with people in those positions, and the people that are arguing against lockdown because of the economy. I get it, but there's no easy answer to fix it.
No.
And unfortunately, I think repercussions will be for a few years.
Definitely. And I think it's almost had to change the way that people, well, it has changed the way people live, but it's almost a case of rethinking different ways of doing things.
Sorry.
What, smashing everything up?
Sorry. I didn't realise I had my head in the fridge of how loud that might be.
I could find, I think it's going to be just it was hard enough adjustment to work from home and not have any contact. It's like, I know it sounds a really stupid thing to say, but this is I know pub quizzes aside, but I haven't seen you lot even on a screen for 4 weeks. The only people I've seen during lockdown, I can't start counting this the other day. How many people have you seen during lockdown? I'm now and I could name it on one hand, and then you think about that at the same time that the people I've now started talking too long to the people in Sainsbury's, because they're the only people I see every
You're like
week.
the old man who likes to chat at the supermarket.
Yeah,
but
because I don't.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking
It's
about
lockdown.
shopping.
He's talking about his experiences during the war.
Yeah,
man and boy.
But it's true. But there's nothing, and it's like really stupid, like the fact that I have these relationships with cashiers at a supermarket because they're the only people I see.
Oh, I'm now picturing Chris having awkward Alan Partridge style conversations with the customer service girl in the supermarket.
No, believe me, I would not do that. Not do that. I'm too old for that shit. Yeah, okay. No, but it's a weird thing, and I think, but go back to what I said, was the fact that then reintegrate yourself back into that, to go back to normal, would be, after 4 or 5 months technically, it will be a completely as well. So to be used to working from home for 4 or 5 months, and then go and sit in an office with 100 people in it, it'll just be like, what?
I'm very used to being by myself with work. I see in the flesh people from my company every few months. Aside from that, I'm on my own. And I've thought about moving on to other jobs. And I don't know how I'd handle working in a team anymore. I don't know if people would rub me up the wrong way, or people would piss me off, kind of thing.
They definitely would.
Yeah,
probably
they will. They would.
For a fact, they would.
Yeah. So, like, there's going to be people that are enjoying working from home and dreading the thought going back to an office environment or things like that. You know, it's going to be a very weird year because there's probably not going to be any Christmas parties for companies, stuff like that. It's going to be a bit
Online Zoom
Yeah.
party. Let's get pissed.
Well, we don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know where we're going to be in a few months' time. We'll see.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And things change all the time. And you know, it's been a while since we've met up and done this pod. Things have changed quite a bit since you think the last time we all hooked up.
Hopefully
Talk about-
for the next one we can maybe be distanced in the flesh, which sounds like some sort of really avant-garde porn film, Distanced in the Flesh. But
Sounds like the new Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance.
Distance in the Flesh. from them.
Distance, less social.
Distance in the flesh.
But yes,
Distance,
I-
less
I-
social for men.
I've cancelled my Zoom account now because it's not getting the usage it was. So hopefully, you know, even if we did it yours, we could have a couple of people sit in the garden, open your back doors, a couple of people sit indoors.
Hey, I'll come in your
And,
back doors.
You can come in your back doors, something like that. We could do it in my garden. If the weather's good, just all, you know, I'm comfortable with you guys because
Well, we can do it in your
you're
house
at home
now,
all
can't
the
we?
time. Yeah, you're all at home all the time. Yeah, you're not mixing around a lot, so I'm comfortable that I can account for what you're up to, and you're not fucking idiots either. So
Well,
I'm
yeah,
happy for you to be, you know, in my house or in my garden, kind of thing. It's pubs that you can't account for what everyone else has been doing. So
No,
that's
and
why
it's a shame because you know pubs. You know, we've spent a lot of time in pubs over the years and different things like that. But it is nice. But at the same time, you know, I think it was just things we just slowly do the in with pubs anyway. But you know, it is nice to go to a pub, but it is nice to have a chat. But I just think you think of all the times people come into very close contact with who you don't know, we're squeezing through. I mean, I saw not that you want to get into the old man shouts a cloud type things, but I will. But like when you see photographs of our local pubs in town with that many people outside,
Oh God, yeah.
and it's just like, what the fuck?
They've been told to get their house in order or close that house. haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be going to that pub anyway because fuck him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fuck him in the ass, old Tim Martin. But anyway.
Well, I was going to be
that's,
nice. Anyway, it's been flying ant season.
Boris.
Yeah, flying ant season, Timo.
No, they had a picture of Boris and the Weatherspoons guy. Is it Tim Martin?
Tim Martin, yeah.
And it was like, this is like a before and after picture of somebody putting their finger in a plug socket. It's amazing.
So, Timo, you've had flying ants in the garden today, and I saw that flying ants in Essex were visible from space. But
Yeah.
I've had no flying ants in my garden, and normally I get loads. So what's up with that?
I've got a couple. I saw some earlier.
I don't know the scientific reasons as to why I would have some and you wouldn't. And yeah, there's been like a blanket cloud of ants that are visible from space. And you've avoided it. I don't know the science behind it, but
I thought
Yeah,
normally they were attracted to other ants. So we've got quite a few ants in the garden. Or there's definitely an ant thing in the communal garden, and we can't work out where you keep trying to bin off all the holes. They just pop out of another one.
yeah.
So we reckon it's quite massive. So normally they just turn up en masse to go and attack that lot. And
Yeah.
I've had nothing. I've just been like, really weird.
Mm.
But then when I saw
Yeah,
the
no,
picture
I
of them being visible from space, I was like, what?
So do
Have you
they
had
fly
kettle
quite
out?
high?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm
Because
not sure.
when I went for my dog walk earlier, there were so many birds flying up, but they were pretty high. But I've never seen that many birds flying around in that area before. And I was wondering if they were just plucking the flying ants out of the air.
They were like, dinner's up, lads, get stuck in.
I have no clue. Maybe they do.
Exactly.
If they're visible from space, they must go up to a certain level. So maybe they do fly high.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
didn't get the
maybe
kettle
if-
out.
Well, you see, this is the issue I have. So I have a 7-year-old which gets freaked out by the flying ants. Like just ants, she doesn't have an issue with. she'd just be like, "Oh, there's ants." With
But
the
it's when
flying
there's
ants,
that she gets really stressed. Sorry,
yeah.
terrible bad joke.
when she starts seeing the flying ones, it just really freaks her out. As you can probably remember from podcast 7 or whatever bloody it was.
Simo's wine adventure
From 27 years ago.
Yeah, for God knows whenever it was. But yeah, there was obviously a particular time when my garden just seemed to just combust into flying ants, and every year we seem to get it bad. In fairness, it wasn't that bad in the end. Like, I mean, the way she started like shouting at me, like, "Oh, there's ants everywhere, there's flying ants," I was like, "Oh God, this is going to be horrendous." But when I went out there, like, yeah, because they were clearly hatching, like the ground looked like it was bloody moving. But it's been worse in the past. But you see, the issue we then have is that she's very much like, "Oh, don't kill all the animals, don't kill the creatures," all that sort of stuff. So then it's like, well, you're scared of them. You want me to do something, but then you don't want me to, like, you know, put ant powder down or get the kettle out or anything like that, because that will kill them. So what the hell do you want me to do? So I basically just locked her, well, sort of gaffer taped her in a cardboard box, and then left her. I think she's still there actually.
Cardboard boxes are not reliable, mate. You want to invest in a Fritzl cell under your house.
Yeah, well,
It's the only way.
Yeah, I mean, for my next house, I'm definitely going to try and get a property with a basement, or, you know, a cellar or something, even just like a little coal shed, just something sort of dark and dingy that I can lock people in, really.
Just the family.
Children. It's not people, children. Just my children. I don't really want to harm other people's children because you get arrested for that. But just if I just lock my children.
Harming your own children as well, yeah?
Do you?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh. So anyway, we've gone from flying ants to child abuse.
Yeah. Maybe I could put the ants in the shed with the children. Oh, that'd be fucking good, wouldn't it?
What you do is like do like the Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage and just get like the cage and then just have all flying ants.
Oh, the bees!
Killing it.
Oh, the bees!
Like, we get a few flying ants in the back garden. Saw them earlier, sprouting their wings and flying around. I did wonder what it'd be like if all animals did that and sprouted wings. Just the skies would just be full of cats, dogs, cows, sharks.
Tons of people running about going, "Burn it with fire!"
Because
that would be like Sharknado.
Yeah,
Sharknado.
Flying sharks.
Flying sharks is probably the worst that I can think of. Or flying lion. Flying lion or flying tiger.
What about flying rabbits?
Flying what?
Rabbits, those little shits.
Flying rabbits?
Yeah.
Rabbits would be all right. What would they do?
There's shit everywhere.
The shit.
Yeah, but that's just a little dry
rabbit
pellet.
pellets.
A flying great white shark would just chomp your head off. Just
like a crocodile, a flying crocodile.
Because it can't breathe out of water. So.
But let's just.
But who would win in a fight? Who would win in a fight? A flying crocodile or a flying shark?
Crocodile, I think. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Timo's thinking about it.
No, he's still thinking about the cell with ants in it.
Did anyone see? Oh, we did see. All say because it was shared. Did you see Carol Baskins doing a shout out to Rob Harris and Jimmy Savile this week?
His friend Jimmy Savile.
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh. It's not
that you touched them and they touched you.
Right, we should probably first start off by saying fuck Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
there was another shout out for Essex as well. So give us a shout.
She also got her and her husband to do 50 Cent in the club with Bacardi. Really pissed.
Go whoever it was. It's your birthday. I was like, oh my god.
I mean, you have to realise
a car crash.
this is how celebrities are making their money at the moment. There's an app called Cameo, and I
Yes.
don't know whether you're all familiar with it. And basically, you can you pay like 250 quid, 300 quid to get a
Jeez.
celebrity to record you like a 30-second video.
Really?
So I get
Yeah.
So you can pick any. There's a massive list. If you go to Cameo, I can't remember the website. I'm going to Google it.
Google it, because some of the prices are.
Yeah, I know, it's
brilliant.
hilarious.
Like, you can get Pitbull to say happy birthday for £50 or something like that.
Right, okay. I'm just going to go
Right.
actors.
Because it's literally just they'll get paid and they'll just record a video on their phone, send it, money in the bank.
And that is exactly what they've done with Carol Baskins. Oh, I can't get it. Apparently, it's still my VPN or something.
Hold on, let me have a look.
I've got my VPN on and it hasn't connected. Yeah, stupid VPN. Oh, it's because I've got my VPN on. It won't let me do it. Right, I'll turn my VPN off.
It's all right, I've got it. So,
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
Technical
Carol
issue.
Baskin is £248.17.
Yeah.
Carol
So
Baskin.
you pay her £248.17, and then she'll record you a 30-second message. So you can get Debbie Gibson is £161.85, Sean Astin £244.85. I don't even know who half these people are.
right, Lennox Lewis, famous boxer, £415.
You can get Kevin Kenroy, who's the voice of Batman, for 83 quid. Hello, I'm Batman. He
Nice.
wants me to sign up. Fuck off. I don't want to sign up. Go away. I'm not
You
seeing you on Facebook.
Hey, John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard and Smallville for £332. Or James Haskell, a rugby player, for 81 quid. He
Oh,
will-
They can jog on. It's not as if they even need the money.
But that's how they make
Ernie,
your money at the moment. 'cause
Ernie Hudson, remember
they-
him
Oh, you know,
from
yeah,
Ghostbusters? £112 and 5p. Where the
Oh,
5p come from?
I'm chucking 20p for you.
No, I'll tell you what, we could do this. We could get him to do a shout out for Up Beer Club. Tay Zonday, Chocolate Rain is charging £33. £33. So if we all stuck in,
Oh, yes, and he'd go Friday Night Beer Club.
yeah, that's it.
Look, if
Yes.
yes, let's chip in and get him to do
Okay,
that,
I
and then we'll
I
edit
will
it
do
over
that.
the top of the theme tune.
Yeah, I will do that. So who's with me? Simo, I appreciate you. Who's with me? We'll chip
I'm
in
in.
for £33. I'll
For
chip in a
Tays on
tenner.
day,
I'll chip in a tenner.
Yeah.
we can
No,
we
I'll
can
be
have
up.
Matt Hardy for 91 quid.
Who?
Who?
Matt Hardy.
What? As in the wrestler?
Yeah. But you could just like get them to say whatever you want. So
Yeah,
fucking hell, there's just hundreds of them.
it's crazy. I'm looking at the £20 to £30 price range. They've got a category of YouTube stars. You can pay the Tooth Fairy from YouTube £8. She'll leave you a
£8.
message. £8.
I don't know who anyone is.
You've got Jesus Christ for £23.24.
Oh, nice.
Jesus should be free. Free to all men and women and non-binary people.
Oh, there's a load of pro wrestlers. Diamond Dallas. There's all sorts.
Don't we just
Gamers.
Chocolate Rain?
Right.
Why would you?
Anyway, Ted
We've all been
DiBiase,
distracted.
£62.
Oh,
The $1 million man.
He's not so $1 million anymore.
Charlie Sheen will do it for 300 quid.
He's not the $1 million man anymore. He's the $62 man.
£62 man. All right,
That's
I think
so
we'll do
funny.
Tays on day. I think that's got to be done.
Yeah, just
Greg Grunberg will do it for 82 quid.
If
who?
we send Tays on day the theme tune to our show, Friday Night Beer Club and Chocolate Rain over the top of that, that'd be brilliant.
No, yeah.
Simo's not convinced. Simo is not convinced by this.
No, I'm just amazed at like the price variation on some of these.
Look,
Who's the most expensive? Who's the most expensive? That's what I want to know.
Lennox Lewis is what I've seen so
The
far.
one that doesn't surprise me at all that he's there is Snoop Dogg, because that guy will do anything. But you've got
The mother.
Snoop Dogg, you've got Ice-T, you've got Exhibit. It's so much fun when you're doing it with the DOGG, live and personal message. Oh, he's unavailable at the moment. He must be busy. But there's some clips you can see.
Anyway, sorry, this doesn't translate well.
That's cameo.com, yeah.
So all we could say,
Tony.
we're going to get Mr. Chocolate Rain to do it, but if anyone listens to the podcast and has any suggestions of who they think we should get a cameo, give us a shout out. Yeah,
anyone using the internet in 2002 knows who Tayson Day is, but it's literally
they've got Love Island people on here.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But I don't know who they are anyway.
99 quid? Fuck off.
This isn't translating well to a podcast, is it?
Sorry.
No. We're looking at.
No, it's I started it.
website.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I started it.
Well, anyway, I've been Ben.
I don't even know how we got onto that. The internet confuses me at the moment. Everyone's talking about cake. Have you seen this?
Yes, I've seen loads of cake videos.
I don't get it.
Oh, what?
Cake,
Cake as
so-
a drug cake? As in
So,
kids,
no, it's
don't eat cake.
no, it's
I've
everything
seen
is
one where a
cake.
guy
But
pours
what
a
if it's
glass.
cake?
Yeah, like a guy
It's
pours
weird.
a glass of water into a glass, but then cuts it in half and it's a cake. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you do that?
So you see
Illusion cake.
an object and it looks like a hand dispenser for like sanitizer, and then someone cuts it and it's a cake. And
Right,
it's
they're
kind of like
cakes, aren't they?
it's
Yeah,
like
there
an
was like a-
existential thing of like, what if everything's cake? And
There was like a-
people
yeah, there was
guessing
a-
if something's cake or not.
There's a meme today of the Queen knighting the guy who did the 100 laps around his, what's his name? The Captain Tom.
Captain Tom Moore.
Oh, Tom, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the Queen trying to find out if he's cake. He's knighting him.
Are you cake?
That's it.
Are you cake? That's it. It's, are you cake? But yeah, some of the
'Cause
cake videos are mental.
I had to Google Will Smith today because I'd seen loads of Will Smith memes and I didn't really get it.
Oh,
And
because
they
there was
found
that
out-
red table chat with Jada Pinkett and she
Yeah,
cheated.
and she's talking about like being
You're a
humped
week late,
by other
mate.
people.
You're
Yeah,
a
I
week
didn't.
late.
I didn't get it. I just saw loads of pictures of Will Smith crying in an Arsenal shirt. So-
Yes, that's after the North London derby. There were so many pictures of Will Smith
And
going.
I was like, all right, I've seen the Michael Jordan meme of him crying. I was like, where's the Will Smith one come from? I had to Google it today and then just find out, oh, right. They've just put their, it's weird now that they've gone very close to being like, what's their name? Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin have just, yeah.
I don't
What do they call it?
understand
And it
why they did that on a on a live television type format.
mm,
It was
That's
very
been,
very bizarre.
it's been widely
called
known
it-
for years.
called
Widely,
it an
allegedly, widely
entanglement.
known. Yeah, it's been widely known for years, allegedly, that was what was happening. But then she literally come out of it in a public forum, and it was a bit like I don't think he was expecting it, and just going.
Hmm.
And like by the end of it, where she, what did they say, "Bad boys for life" or something, and fist bumped, and I was like,
It was
Bad
so,
marriage.
so cringe.
so
Bad
horrible.
marriage.
It's horrible.
Bad marriage for life.
Yeah.
Is what they did, the fist bump on.
it's
And they wonder,
it's weird.
and they wonder why their children are a little bit, yeah.
Woohoo. What is
Yeah.
it like? Cuckoo.
Yeah. And you see that from their parents, and you go, "Oh yeah, that's why."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Strange.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. I think we've probably done everything.
we're
I have
on
a few things on my
£10
list.
quid.
So this is not going to go the way of the vagina beer, though. We're actually going to chip in and do Tays on Day. That sounded wrong. Didn't mean it like that.
Totally gonna do him.
We're not going to do him. We're going to get into the corner. Right.
Proper hard.
Celebrity
every so
prostitution.
every so often, and you can't see this if you're listening to the pod, but Simo seems to have unbuttoned a part of his shirt every like 5 minutes, and now it's going full chest.
Do you shave
Is
your
it hot?
chest, Simo, or is it just naturally hairless?
Yeah,
See,
it's just not hairy. My chest just isn't hairy.
Wow, you got a proper V-neck sort of tan line there going on, haven't you?
I say your beard's very styled. I wonder
Camera.
like whether you've gone full on. Have you gone full on just for men?
it just shaves like that. There,
I know that. Like in
I-
lockdown, my beard's got.
hairless, but recently there's hairs there because I'm old and crap. I don't
Yeah,
like
in lockdown, my
Nothing
beard has
wrong
gone
with a bit of
so
manscaping.
white. Yeah, in lockdown, my beard has gone so white. It is. Oh God.
No, I haven't
Mine's
shaved
just
my
gone.
chest.
Do
Curly.
Just for Men do ginger?
Huh?
Do Just for Men do ginger? I don't think I've ever seen it.
No, because you don't really see like a grey ginger person. We just go white. I'm gonna start looking like Father Christmas soon. But Simo, look at that. That's sculpted, mate. You like refined and
There is
styled.
grey in my beard. You just can't see it.
Yeah?
I've
Yeah.
got some around there.
I'm gone
Can't
white
see it if you're
everywhere.
listening, but
I'm
It's
going
very,
white.
very grey around here, the sides as well. But
Shut
Um,
up. There's some
I-
grey, mate. Bloody hell.
well, yeah, no, I mean, I said
Very
some
grey.
grey, not completely grey.
With his
Okay,
shocking dark hair.
we're going to a very visual place again.
Sorry,
Let's bring it back.
you brought it up
No.
about showing off my chest.
Well, I just mentioned that you seem to be unbuttoning.
Oh,
You're
Oh.
getting invaded by the other half.
You know this on YouTube. Anyway,
you said unbuttoning, and then Laura walks in.
yeah,
Laura's
Um,
live urination on YouTube.
walking in with just a towel.
Oh, she went.
We better sign off quick, Wyatt.
For a decency on the way
Right,
back.
so anyway, see you later.
Leave the camera on.
Do you remember that? Yeah, it's like that Friday Night Beer Club episode, God,
That's right.
3 or
Do you
4
wanna-
years ago.
I saw it on a
Right, I'm out.
selfie
See you
stick.
later.
So
Oh, perfect. On the selfie stick, yeah.
selfie stick. I set that up.
Okay,
Do you know what?
Timo's going to go
Do you
get
know
his belt.
Do you remember?
I'm going to undo another button now.
Lockdown has been going on for so long that there was house party at the start of it.
Yes.
Simo and Simo
Do you remember house
special.
party? That lasted 2 weeks, didn't it? That was great.
Till it stole all your data like Hawaii.
That one night of house party was epic.
Yeah,
It was
playing the games
like
on it.
early lockdown, rambling house party, Simo in his pants.
Get it.
That was after. Was that after a pod?
That was after a pod,
It was
yeah.
after a
Yeah.
pod, yeah.
Yeah, I've still got photos and videos of that.
So do I.
That's brilliant. It's like we just discovered fire. It's just like, ooh,
The video.
technology.
Still not seen the video of Drunken Ham.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
need to find where that's saved on my laptop because I was quite drunk. I hit record for a good
Yeah.
while.
Oh, was
and
this
then-
was this on the pub quiz? Was this on the pub quiz?
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
some
this is
very,
his missus.
very drunk.
And Ham, I think Ham got some. What did we? Yeah, we got some revenge on Ham. that
Yeah,
night,
Ham
I
got
think.
told by us.
Yeah,
It was quite good.
I
That
won't
was
go
brilliant.
there. It's a family podcast.
it's really
Says
not.
the guy who said cunt 4 times in a row.
I don't think I'd said it on this. Well, I actually have said it
Yeah,
on this
you said
podcast.
it a lot, mate.
You said it a lot.
Yeah, you said country earlier, so
I like
Country.
that word, country.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
then you
Well,
people are them, and yep, there are some right them, and yeah, you said it quite a few times.
okay, so you may have seen this from an Instagram story I posted last week. My daughter kept going on about as a Christmas present getting this book because she kept seeing it in a shop and she thought it was hilarious. And in the end, I just gave in and bought it, and it's called Good Fucking Manners. And actually, the notion of the book is about being polite and having good fucking manners.
Mm.
And she hadn't picked it up really and started reading it until last weekend. And then when she came out, she likes reading out aloud. And she was reading this, like, like when you're a kid and you've got like the very eloquent reading voice.
Yeah.
And she's doing as we used to do, performing arts or, drama and stuff like that. And she goes, and then you'll be driving along the road and then there is a massive cuntosaurus indicating the wrong way. And I just cry. Just, hang on. My child just said, that's my new favourite word, cuntosaurus. And I was like, yeah, just don't let people hear you say that out loud. So occasionally she just like gives me a nudge and a wink, goes, cuntosaurus. And I'm like, yeah.
It's a time and a place.
Driver. And it's okay because their BMW cars, their indicators do not work.
Yes.
It's common knowledge.
It's pretty awful that I'm letting my child read that book, but at the same time, she's getting the kind of essence of etiquette and manners and stuff that we talk about in here. Just learning words like cuntosaurus at a very young age. I love it.
As you do.
I think there's nothing wrong with kids hearing the bad words. I think if you make them taboo and tell them off for saying stuff, then it makes it. I don't know. Maybe they'll want to use it more and stuff.
It's making sure they know when and when not to be able to use them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So on that Cuntosaurus note, I think that's the first time I've said cunt. Not ever. Just today.
The first time you've ever said the word cunt.
There were a couple of nerdy bits I missed out because I don't know when our next pod's going to be. Hopefully, we can see each other in person. That'd be good. We can stop talking to screens and talking over each other and all that sort of jazz.
I can sit and I can refrain from touching people.
Yeah.
I'll just be wearing one of those shields that the barber wore. The face shields and the mask.
If we make it a Breaking Bad theme party and we just all turn up full hazmat suits, something like that, that'd be fine.
And then we can touch each other. You can touch each other.
Yeah, you can wear your kick-ass suit.
Yeah, there you go. I wish I kept my right helmet because that had the big shield. Just put that down and it'd be fine. I could just cough on that instead.
What about your Batman?
Well, that just comes down to there. So that covers all of the unimportant areas. Covers everything but the nose and the mouth.
You got to wear the Batman mask with a face mask.
It's the COVID enabler. If anything, it's just that section that is free. It's just that.
Batman is a COVID enabler.
I go, who are you? I'm cold, man.
Batman is a COVID enabler.
I was going to mention earlier about Batman. Michael Keaton signed up.
Holy shit!
Apparently. Yeah. So we could be seeing the return of him in the Flash movie.
I feel like that deserves Kermit the Muppet. But, it's a bit late in the day, and
absolutely. But I don't know. So between now and next pod, if we might, I've got a feeling that Bill and Ted could possibly go on demand.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
maybe.
I actually watched Bogus Journey. Actually, that's one thing I have actually watched. I watched Bogus Journey again.
That's great fun.
Great movie.
I mean, it's not exactly aged well, but it is fun. I did enjoy it.
No. But that would be so. And I think probably by the time we do the next pod, we'll have the Umbrella Academy season 2.
It's next week, isn't it? Next week, next Friday.
End of the month, yeah.
And you got The Boys season 2 dropping soon.
The Boys. Yeah.
Sim, have you watched The Boys season 1 yet? You
really
really
need
to. It's something you will love.
You hate superhero shit. You hate superhero stuff, so you'll love it.
No, but he will love The Boys.
Yeah, he will love The Boys.
Yeah.
I love The Boys.
It's got more cunt in it than a cuntosaurus.
Yeah.
And something to look forward to is Ready Player 2 in November.
God, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, definitely. looking forward to Ernest Cline's follow-up. So
The book, yes. The film, maybe not so
the
much.
book.
Oh well, the book is coming out in
Busy
November.
time.
Yes, I know. Sorry.
Yeah. And last nerdy bit was that HBO Max are going full throttle at the moment, and they're doing a companion show for Matt Reeves' The Batman movie. So our Pat's Batman is going to have a TV show linked directly to the.
Is it going to be our Pats as Batman, or are they going to do a TV show set in Gotham around our Pats as Batman's Gotham?
I would go for the latter option. Maybe with
not interested.
But maybe I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little cameo here and there. But but then again, could be wrong. These days, TV shows are as high profile as movies. Game of Thrones and things like that. So
I did see the Uncharted movie started filming last week, didn't it?
It did, yes. Tom Holland posted a picture of the chair with Nate written on it, didn't he?
Oh, don't know whether I like it.
Finally. I've started playing Uncharted 3 the other week.
Great game.
And I just forgot how much I love those games.
Have you played?
Have you played 2?
Have you played 4 and the Lost Legacy?
Yeah, yeah, brilliant.
Lost Legacy is the was originally going to be DLC for 4, wasn't it? And then they realised it was too big, so they just made it as a game in its own right. And I have to say, I don't really want to say this. Have you played? Has everyone here played Uncharted 4?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I've only done 1, 2, 3. Just say it doesn't matter. When the fuck am I going to play it? I still ain't finished Red Dead 2, which came out like a century ago.
So Nathan Drake finishes his story at the end of Uncharted 4, and then Uncharted Lost Legacy is the girls from the other 2 games in their own adventure, and that is fucking awesome. I love that. And with MIA, that MIA soundtrack, like the ending of Lost Legacy is so good. With that MIA, bam, bam, bam. Anyway, sorry.
But it looks like
Eurovision either, did we?
No, and Eurovision was fucking good. It had no right to be as good as it was.
Yeah.
No spoilers. No, you can talk about that for a minute.
It was your standard Will Ferrell fare. Really good fun. The songs in it are, if you heard them, you'd go, "That's a Eurovision song." And they're original songs, and they're really good. But they are,
and they
Eurovision
get stuck
songs.
in your head. And they get stuck in your head.
It is just really, really good fun.
So
I will. It is on the list to watch.
And I can't get Volcano Man out of my head. 1 minute,
no,
and it's ridiculous.
I can't even remember that song.
It's basically Anchorman, but set in Eurovision.
It is not Anchorman.
Well, it's just the gags keep coming thick and fast.
It's not a patch as funny as Anchorman, but there are some very good jokes in it. But it's got a lot more heart than Anchorman.
Yes. And
I think the end song they do, it sounds very much like the opera song in The Greatest Showman.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. Yeah, it's definitely worth a couple of hours of your time, that one.
I enjoyed it, and I think I'll probably give it another watch at some point because it was just such a good laugh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's the songs that are going to make you want to come back and watch it again. Yeah. Also, Pierce Brosnan is a fucking touch in that film.
Yeah, and the elves.
And also,
the elves are great.
And Demi Lovato.
Pierce Brosnan, I think, is brilliant at comedy. There was that movie years ago called The Matador. You ever see that? Brilliant. He's just like a deadpan kind of. He's great at it. He's really good. But I will definitely watch Eurovision.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
give it a go. It's a good laugh.
Yeah, and there's also like a running gag because he was in Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia 2 as well, which is ABBA and all of that. So it's good.
Yeah.
One last little nerdy nugget is confirmed that Ryan Reynolds has signed on to play Green Lantern in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
That's been confirmed.
It's been confirmed.
Holy crap.
That's crazy. Crazy balls.
Crap. When did that get confirmed?
I read it last week that he's going to be in it. I don't know in what capacity or how it's going to happen, but that's just crazy.
Basically, Disney have mugged him off, so he's gone, right, fuck it, we'll go and do the other one then.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Reynolds has become beyond the meta now of just being a parody of everything, and just
Ryan Reynolds is absolutely brilliant. Did you all watch the X-Men reunion, the cast reunion?
Yeah, that was great.
When he gate crashes it, that was so good.
It's him and Hugh Jackman. It's just a bromance that the chemistry between them, considering they've never been together on screen, really.
Yes, they have. X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
Oh, well, yeah. That wasn't really, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because I'm not going to start a new topic, but the Zack Snyder Cut business is crazy. The amount of traction it's got.
Yeah.
And Martian Manhunt has been confirmed that it is General Swanwick that is Martian Manhunter in the Zack Snyder Cut.
Right.
And did you see Ray Fisher come out about Joss Whedon?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
and all that sort of stuff.
Shit.
And then it just took him to do that, and then loads of people just
everybody piled on board.
Yeah. Which it's no different from, I guess, the Harvey Weinstein stuff, things like that. As soon as one person's brave enough to step forward, enough time has passed for that. It's not looking good for old Joss. But anyway,
let's end the poll on a bad note, eh?
Yes.
Let's end it.
Well, there was child abuse earlier. Someone mentioned Jeffrey Epstein, so hey, Joss Whedon into the mix as well. But anyway,
let's go and pay Trey Zonday.
We're going to go and hunt down the Chocolate Rain superstar. Also, if we can get Star Wars Kid and Leroy Jenkins to leave a message, that would be brilliant as well.
I wonder have they got the fat kid who loves his bacon on there?
I don't know who the fat kid that loves his bacon is.
You do the YouTube search for fat kid loves bacon after the pod, and
I need a name of him.
I still want the German kid losing his shit to losing on Doom. Do you remember that? And they kept cutting it with Star Wars beauty contest where she plays the trumpet.
Ice Cube is right. Anyway, I'll tell you what. I'll say goodbye, and then we can just have a look at Cameo and just talk about some of the prizes I've just seen. So anyway, thanks for listening to episode 55 of the Friday Night Beer Club.
It's been a shit show.
Wyatt. It's been a different one, but this is why we need to meet up in person. But so anyway, I've been Wyatt. I've been joined by, and do this Brady Bunch style, as I can see on my screen. There we go. So I've been Wyatt. That's been Simo.
Good night. Thank you. Sorry for being late.
No, it's down here. It's down here.
Hello, you Simo.
No, on the stream I'm looking at, that's where Simo is. He's up there. I could just tickle him like that.
Simo's like me. He's got his legs out. Simo's got his legs out.
Oh my god, he's not getting it.
Right.
What the fuck are you doing?
You're there above me on the stream.
You're above Wyatt. So wave down to Wyatt. Say hi, Wyatt, down there.
Do that.
Bye, Wyatt.
Oh yeah, you work it.
No, yeah, that's really weird. Looks like you just called you cock Wyatt. Anyway, so from Chris, who's there.
I'm here that way. Sorry, there.
No, I know what I'm doing. Just say goodbye.
Laters, y'all.
And then from Ben.
Bye, Wyatt.
There you go. That worked. I didn't really. Anyway, thanks for listening. We're going to ramble for a few more minutes. Feel free to hang around. If not, fuck off and listen to the Peter Crouch podcast or something else. I don't know.
It's gone self-aware. I don't like it anymore. It's a bit like
It's
dad wrote a porno. It's like my dad wrote a porno. They are so far up their own asses now. They can
Oh no, I forgot about the mirror image. I pointed in all the wrong directions. Fuck that
yes,
up.
we know that. We know that. Anyway, see you later.
I
Bye.
got Simo right, but anyway. So Cameo,
Simo's losing the will to live.
It's all gone to shit.
you can get Ice Cube for £500.
I'm not giving you £100 so we can get Ice Cube to go, yo, motherfuckers. This Ice Cube.
125.
Tays on day. Let's agree on what we want him to say, and then we'll sort it.
Yeah, I'll PayPal you like a tenner or something. Simo, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I appreciate
I'm more than happy for
Balls deep.
for chocolate rain to rain on me.
Just
yeah.
say something about chocolate rain and chocolate pain. You're listening to that.
Oh yeah.
Friday night beer club.
Okay, so who would you think is the most expensive celebrity on Cameo?
The Rock.
Do you think The Rock's going to be on Cameo?
I reckon
There's
The
a
Rock
certain
will probably
caliber of famous person.
Is Hulk Hogan? Is Hulk Hogan on it?
I don't know, but let's think reality TV.
Nasty Nick from Big Brother 1.
That's probably like a $5.
Yeah, I'll pay a $5 for that.
It's
I'd rate him
for
as
for $2,500. You can get Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh fuck her.
$2,500.
Yeah, I really apologise. I'm not taking the earbuds out.
Time for a wee.
Oh, happy days. Right, I'm going to go.
Yeah, I need to go.
And the rest of the life, and then we've got to get up early and go canoeing. So,
Yeah, later.
I want to get going. Good to chat with you guys. Really enjoyed catching up, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, no worries.
Toodles.
See you later.
Yeah, see you
Yeah.
later.
See you later. Bye.
See you later, mate. Yeah, I'm going now as well, guys. I need to get
See you
to
later,
bed.
Simo.
We'll call it then.
Fucking
Thank
knackered.
you.
I need to
All right.
just stop on the old thing.
All right.
All right, guys, I'll catch
Is there
you
a quiz
later.
tomorrow?
I don't know.
No.